Watching these heavy showers moving through the central part of the metro area. Let's go a little closer. I think we're going to go a little closer. There we go. And there it is. Yeah, right around the airport up through East Vancouver. This is over the last hour slowly moving to the east, although it's not quite as reddish looking. The red is the heavier rain, so if we see less red, that says it's not quite as intense, but still, there's a lot of rain in here. I haven't seen any lightning strikes. That doesn't mean sometimes the detection systems don't pick up like one flash or one rumble, so maybe you've heard some. There are other showers. They're not quite as intense, though, like around Molalla, Colton, Salem out to Dallas, and then also around McMinnville there. And then we don't want to leave out Columbia County and also Cowlitz County, and you can see some heavier showers just moving towards Longview right now, coming kind of down the hill there from Rainier. So, okay, what about rain? How much more do we have? We have a decent amount coming up, especially tomorrow night and Wednesday. I mean, another 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. That's more than we've seen in the last few days. And as for snow, a lot of snow tonight. Look at that, maybe 8 to 10 inches coming up by this time tomorrow evening, and a bit more into tomorrow night and Wednesday. By the time we get to Thursday, when things are kind of dying down a bit, I could see 1 foot to maybe 1.5 feet of snow. So this would be a good little base building event in the Cascades. Coastline, by the way, tomorrow looks like morning showers and mild. Temperatures in the low 50s. Okay, we'll talk about what we see up in the mountains coming up over the next few days and in the gorge. And a 7-day forecast takes us past Easter. Anna?
All right, sounds like a plan. Thank you, Mark.